Hey students, Mr. Ortiz here. I want to go over with you today a review of DNA. You watched the video on Tuesday regarding what DNA was, and you answered some questions for me. So let's look at how DNA gets set up inside of our cells. You can see that here, DNA is this double-stranded helix, kind of looks like a twisted ladder, and it gets wrapped up around proteins, which then get wrapped up around more proteins and eventually stacked inside of the nucleus. Remember that all cells have DNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. It's also known as hereditary material or genetic material. The DNA carries the code for making proteins. So the things that make up your nails and your hair, special types of enzymes, all the things that basically make you who you are designed by proteins. DNA itself is made up of nucleotides. So it's a bunch of small atoms that form molecules, and those molecules form larger molecules, such as a nucleotide. A nucleotide contains a phosphate, a special type of sugar called ribose, and one of four bases, which again, you kind of learned a little bit about in the video. So nucleotides contain a base, a sugar, and a phosphate. There are four bases: adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. We abbreviate those using A, T, G, and C. So let's take a look at some DNA. Here is a nucleotide, and that nucleotide contains the base thymine. And as you can see, and you're going to build this today in your gizmo, the phosphate, the sugar, and the base, that nucleotide, make up a chain of nucleotides. And each of these nucleotides in the chain needs to have what's called a complementary nucleotide on the other side. Thymine only binds with adenine, and cytosine only binds with guanine. So as you can see, this nucleotide here, thymine, needs to have this nucleotide, adenine, on the other side. So if we go back to this picture here, you can see adenine is binding with thymine, guanine is binding with cytosine, and that creates the molecule of DNA. So when you see that twisted ladder, it's being held together by these bases. And it's these bases that eventually form a very special code. That code is unique to you, it's unique to me, it's unique to mammals, it's unique to plants. It was a scientist that determined that adenine was always found in equal amounts to thymine, and guanine was always found in equal amounts to cytosine. So it led them to believe and understand that these nucleotides have to find the right base pair. So adenine binding with thymine and guanine binding with cytosine. So if we go back to our DNA strand here, you're probably wondering, well, why are these upside down? Well, DNA runs in opposite directions of itself. So this strand runs in this direction, and this strand runs in this direction. It's kind of hard to visualize, but if you imagine putting your hands out in front of you and turning one of your palms or one of your hands straight down, you can notice that that's the way that your thumbs can match up, as if they're going in a different direction of each other. Eventually, you're going to watch a video on how DNA makes a copy of itself, and you'll learn how this opens up and copies. That'll be coming next after this one. I hope that helps. It gives you a little bit overview of what DNA is, and if you have any questions, go ahead and email me. Thanks, folks. Bye-bye.